Hi there, my name is Kunal and today I'm going to show you an application that I created to help businesses make better decisions. About a year ago I worked for a small startup and one of the main challenges presented to them was the uncertainty in their projects, from knowing how much to budget to knowing how long projects would take to complete. And in this fast-paced environment, estimates of such uncertainties can be made capriciously. I wanted a way of using information we already had to give us a more accurate assessment of costs and duration. I worked on this problem every day for many months, and finally I found the breakthrough. So without further ado, let's take a look. Suppose Dreamworks want to make a short animated film. Their production process will look similar to this one. They'll have a story writer, artists, video specialists, proofreaders, voiceover specialists, and a post-production team. Dreamworks will also have a rough idea of the costs of each process, its rate of work, and generally how all the processes are connected. Using this information as an input, I'll go ahead and forecast the production process with dummy figures. So this is my forecasting application, which I've temporarily named 6. I'll go ahead and load the Dreamworks specification. You can see the production process loaded along with dummy figures. I'll run a forecast now, and now you can see that the application is busy trying to forecast this production process. What's happening here is that the application is going through all the different ways in which you can structure the production process, and so this will take a few seconds and then we'll have some output. Now we can see that it took my computer just under 23 seconds to run the forecast, and it analyzed 340,000 configurations in this time. Now a configuration is simply one specific way of structuring your production process. So in this chart area, this shows us one way of doing it. So using the slider, we can navigate all the other ways in which our production process may be structured. And this main chart area shows us how production varies over time for each process, and on the right we have the relative cost and relative duration breakdown. In the analysis panel, we can see how much each production process is costing along with the total cost, how long each production process takes to run along with the total project duration. And here's some interesting statistics for the project manager. We have the rate of work, but specifically we also have how much it deviates from the maximum rate of work. So we can see that the story writer in this case, they are working at maximum capacity. Okay, so they're okay. But the proofreader, they are varying quite drastically from their maximum potential. So this indicates that they're going to have a lot of free time, so if you have extra work, you could probably send it their way. Next we have the quantity that's produced. So in this case, 112 would simply refer to the number of short scenes in the story. And finally we have the start times. Now start times, they give you the bones of the configuration. So here the story writer would start at 0, which means they would start today. The proofreader would start tomorrow, as would the artist. Voiceover specialist would start in 10 days, video specialist would start in 11 days, and post-production in 13. Now this would tell the project manager how to employ their factors of production, when to employ them. But if you're the project manager, you don't want to be having to go through 340,000 configurations to find which one is best. The program will indicate which one minimizes cost and which one minimizes duration over here. So we can go through some of these configurations, we can see which minimizes what. But rather than doing that, we can scroll through this list, which is a list of all optimal configurations, so ones that minimize cost or duration. And so scrolling through this list, we can see a D in parentheses over here, all of these ones, which indicates a configuration that minimizes duration, whereas over here we have a C in parentheses, which indicates a configuration which minimizes cost. So let's take a look at this. So this is how the production process looks like. Scrolling down, we can see how it's structured over here, when each factor of production will start work, and specifically we can see what the cost minimizing setup actually is. So given our production process, given what we want to achieve, we can drive costs down to £24,100 if we're smart about it. Now, if our objective is to minimize the total runtime of the project, we can take a look at that as well. So just before we do that, we will note that this took 19 days to complete. So let's take a look at duration minimizing configuration. So we take a look at this, and this takes just 16 days. So there's a difference in 3 days between the two configurations, but there's a difference also in about £15,000 in cost. So there's a trade-off, or rather there's a choice for the project manager to make here. Do they want to minimize cost? Do they want to minimize duration? Do they want to go somewhere in between? So they have that choice, and this application will really give you a good guidelines as to how you should go about structuring your production processes to achieve those goals. So this will conclude the first look at my forecasting application, looking at just its bare bones. If you're interested in the application and would like to get in touch, then you can email me over at kvideos87@gmail.com or leave a comment. Thank you.